How y'all feel lately with what's been going on as far as the Kyle Rittenhouse?
At first sight, when I first saw the situation, I was like, oh, it's just another white dude getting off. Like, another white dude getting off the hook. Mm-hmm. But I looked into it, laws, everything, it stood its ground. And I was just like, well, if you know your laws, you doing what you're supposed to be doing. However, I still said if a black dude was walking down the street with an AR, he would have got shot.
A football player hitting his wife.
What was his name again?
Stacy.
Yeah.
You know, black men, we treat our women, and I hope that everybody's doing this, like we treat them with respect, and we understand. But it was just hard because I'm like, dang, another thing a white woman has to fear when dating a black man.
For me, at least, is listening to everything they have to say, letting them speak, and then no matter how much if you're right or wrong, accepting that, and then expressing your opinion and all that stuff. And if you guys can come to agreement or drop it, you're fine. Yeah. You guys can work through anything.
Say what you said, back at it again, man. We in a new place today, man. Something a little more comfortable, a little more at home feeling, man. We at the Sweet Feet facility, with me, your boy TD, okay?
It's your boy Pete, Sweet Feet.
Zae Way.
The only way.
Only way.
Man, how y'all feeling today, man?
Real good. Before you even get started, I just want to say congrats to, investing in this type of stuff. Man, every time I see my boys and stuff investing in themselves and their business, I get hyped. Yeah. You got to be like that for your boys. Yeah. Whenever they invest in themselves, like you got the whole bike thing, like as your boy, like seeing that, I'm proud of y'all. So it's dope.
We in the lab though.
Yeah, we all winning, man. Come on
now. This is dope.
Just want to get into it, man. Get right into it. Something that's been hot lately, man. Just want to talk about what's been going on with this system. Okay, I'm talking about this judicial system. All right, and I want to know how y'all feel lately with what's been going on as far as the Kyle Rittenhouse. What also has been going on with there was another case about Ahmaud Arbery. He found a little more justice, and I'm not saying the other trial didn't. I'm just saying in general, like, what do y'all feel? How y'all feeling? Just in those terms in general, because I know that everybody had their own opinions about it and everything. So, what y'all thinking?
At first sight, when I first saw the situation, I was like, oh, it's just another white dude getting off. Like, another white dude getting off the hook. Mm-hmm. But I looked into it, laws, everything. It stood its ground. And I was just like, well, if you know your laws, you doing what you're supposed to be doing. However, I still said if a black dude was walking down the street with an AR, he would have got shot. That's what I said. Yeah. So I say what you said, and I was like, there's no way the black dude gonna be walking around with an AR and cops are just sitting there watching him mosey on by like, oh, okay, let him go. Yeah. Nah, that ain't happening.
Yeah, that's facts.
So that was the part. As far as the whole judicial system part and everything that happened in court, he followed the law. He had the right to bear arms in that state. They said it was self-defense. Mm-hmm. He was being attacked. I don't know why somebody would run at somebody with an AR, but they did it and they got shot. Yeah. So it is what it is. White or black, I would have did the same shit. Somebody running at me.
Yeah, they had a skateboard. Yeah. The one other dude had a pistol in his hand too.
Yeah. So it stood his ground.
Yeah. Because there was a lot of uproar, I think, like a lot of people on social media didn't see that part. Me personally, I was just, I kind of was like, man, this is crazy. If if the dude was black, like I said, he might have not gotten away with it. Accidental manslaughter, that's something. They might have gave him some time for killing two people. So it was just like, my first initial thought was, of course, what everything was social media was saying, It wasn't going into my own research, and I kind of messed up on that. I was like, all right, let me take a step back. Let me look at it. I had Isaiah's brother, Messiah, shout out Messiah, protecting the streets out there, man. We appreciate you. But he had mentioned and gave me like the breakdown. He told me about the laws and the same thing that just mentioned. The
loopholes that you're talking about, yeah. You got to really like understand like the laws because there's loopholes like you was mentioning to me. Yeah. So
yeah, and that's why I was like, oh snap. So I took a step back. and was like, all right, well, I guess he did follow the laws, protecting himself. I mean, I don't know who feels like they need to keep, walking around with an AR at a rally or wherever they were at.
Protest.
At a protest.
Yeah.
I don't know who feels that way. If it's supposed to be even if it's supposed to be a peaceful protest, I don't know who feels like they need to walk around with ARs.
Yeah.
But, it is a sad truth as far as staying woke about the system, because it is not in our favor.
Nah. If you like I said, if you know your laws,
yeah,
you can get away with stuff. Well, not get away, but you get off.
There's some loopholes.
You know your laws. You got your lawyer. Definitely get a lot of black people, unfortunately, don't have the funds to pay for a lawyer.
No, that's facts. Yeah.
So that's another thing. Like, you get a district attorney or appointed district attorney or whatever, and they don't care. Whatever happens. A lawyer, they come in there, they fight for you. You pay them. They fight for your case. They get off. Like, I had an incident. I had to pay for a lawyer. It was like that. It went off. I was like, dang. And it was like, if you go in there with what do they call it? It's appointed, what's the word? I want to say it's a district attorney.
Oh, like someone that you can't afford type of thing?
Well, you have to have what you call them?
Like someone with you representing you?
Yeah, you have to have representation.
Okay.
Unless you represent yourself, which that's not a good idea.
Yeah.
So you have to have somebody that represents you, so you can either get appointed someone for free, or you can pay for a lawyer who is going to fight for you and give you the best case scenario. Yeah. And they're going to do their research. They're going to push court back if they have to. Yeah. So it's like having that lawyer is a big thing. They know people. These lawyers ain't just in there first day. No, they know people. They know the judges. They know all that. Yeah. So it's a lot that goes into it, where a lot of black people don't get that privilege to get lawyers
at all. So it'd be a struggle, and I don't know personally. I've never been put in that situation, so I can't sit here and be like, oh yeah, I know. But nah, it for sure has, like, over time and what history has shown us, it definitely isn't in our favor. Definitely hasn't said like, oh yeah, like, you guys will win, just, fight for it, whatever it is. Like, it's never said that. So, it's kind of unfortunate, but it is a sad truth. And I was just mentioning to some of the people I talked to, I was like, at the end of the day, this stuff that happens, it's just like, okay, yeah, it was self-defense, but how many people plead that and get away with that? They break down the technicalities, and they get in like you said, the loopholes. So at the end of the day, sometimes we can't even blame the actions or the situation. It's because because maybe they understood and looked it up, the actual law, like the law, and I'm not doing anything wrong here, so I can go do this. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So maybe he did look it up. I don't know, but go ahead.
So from my part, like, I think it goes both ways. Like, it was self-defense, but then it's like as a parent, would you even be okay with your 17-year-old son doing that? Like, imagine there's like rioting and stuff, and your kid, he comes here to try to protect your property with a gun. Are you, like, how do you feel about that? Would you be okay with that?
No.
Exactly. And there's questions like, did his parents even know he went out there to, go do that with a gun?
Because he definitely, apparently his mom dropped him off.
What?
With the gun. And I don't know if this is a fact, but apparently he was dropped off. To go protect some people, his friends or family or something like that. That's
what they said. Yeah.
So this was a thought out thing.
Yeah, like, so it also goes down to parenting too. Like,
what's your influence and how does it influence you? I think that's
because he could have easily been shot.
Exactly.
For having that AR, and now your 17-year-old son is dead, and we talking about a whole nother situation. So, I mean, I wouldn't send my son to no rally or anything.
No, he's like, let's say he's protecting this.
Oh, this? Like, something's going on and he came down. Nah.
People are trying to steal your equipment and all that stuff.
Nah. No, that's just things. That's
right.
That can be replaced. His life can't. So you don't know what other people have. You don't know. Somebody else could have had an AR ready. And
I feel like, him having that gun already made himself a target. Even though he didn't do bad, he was protecting himself, self-defense and stuff. I feel like even though people seen he had a rifle on him, they're like,
you become a higher threat.
Exactly. Yeah. So I don't think it was smart as a 17-year-old to go do that. But
because a lot of icons, a lot of like people that, a lot of people that kids and, adolescents, like, like my age as well. A lot of people looked up to these, people talking about this situation And there was a lot of negativity behind it.
Yeah, no, there was. That's how I found out about it.
And I was like, yeah, it could be, you know, because there are certain situations just like, you know, it's sad, it's this. And in my head, I was just like, I hope he looked it up, you know, because, you know, this situation, I understand with what's going on as far as BLM, as far as, you know, that whole thing that went down, and then the other stuff in between. Like, I hope people understand that, you know, it does add up, and we're tired of seeing, you know, like those, you know, people get away with things, especially, and then, you know, we're tired of, you know, there was also a case that recently happened where the guy was accused of something and they were going to give him the death sentence. I don't know if y'all.
I think I remember hearing about that.
Yeah, I'm not sure you heard about it. It was like, I think someone in Texas, maybe. Do you know what state? I'm not going to, don't quote me. I'm just saying, like, it was something where, like, he got accused of an action and they were going to give him the death sentence. Instead, they let him, like, not let him off, but they do it and they give him life instead. And I was like, okay, that's not justice. Like, make sure that this man didn't do anything, like, wrong. Like, let's dive deeper into it. Because there's some places out there, man, I guarantee there's some places out there that's just like, we don't know what's going on. Like, they've kept things under wraps, like connections in small towns especially.
I mean, there's many cases where black people get accused and there's no hard evidence, but they still get thrown in prison. Yeah. And I think that's the whole thing where the Kyle Rittenhouse, like, black people are tired of seeing white people get off easily when you have black people who, you know, are just accused and now they go to prison. And like I said, that has a lot to do with not having a lawyer. Yeah. That's really what it is. Representation.
Good representation.
Because we don't have that representation, the court can do whatever the fuck they want to do. Yeah. It matters what that jury says. And if that jury is a bunch of people who don't look like you, which a lot of times it is, then you're going to go to prison. Yeah. They're going to be like, I feel like this nigga did it.
Yeah.
And they go at him like he looked like a criminal.
And they gonna say just that. They gonna say just
look like a criminal. That's what it is in that image. Like, black people look like criminals to most court systems. Yeah. And when we get in there, like, yeah, he's a criminal. He did it. Yeah.
Nah, it hasn't changed either. It hasn't changed.
No,
like,
not at all.
The image of what we're considered, you know, especially in the justice system, that stuff has not changed. You know, and then speaking on, you know, because there are some actions that we do that I'm just like, man, that's, you know, a whole thing with the domestic violence recently. A big trend was going around about a football player hitting his wife. And I don't know if you guys saw that.
What was his name?
It was
what was his name again?
Zach Stacy.
Yeah, so I saw that.
Yeah.
I already know how I feel. I was disgusted by it.
Man.
I don't believe any male should put his hands on a woman unless she's beating on you. Yeah.
Either that or
if you're protecting yourself, that's different. But when you go and attack somebody just because you having an argument,
we're really mad.
That's
like, how mad do you?
Something mentally has to be going on with you.
And in front of their kid, bro. Like,
in front of the kid.
The kid knows they doesn't know what's going on at all.
Yeah.
Like I said, I grew up in a household like that. Like, as I said in other podcasts, I grew up in an abusive home. So just seeing that again, like, I'm like, bruh.
So is it
stop?
Is it like very traumatic to you? Like,
yeah, it is.
So like, does it like haunt you to this day too and stuff?
Nah, not really. Like, I mean, I'm over it. Honestly, I really don't speak to my father because of some of those things. Like, I try to slowly. He just got out of prison recently. Try to slowly speak to him and stuff like that, but I'm trying to gain respect for him because I lost a lot of respect because of that. Like, you're putting your hands on a woman, knowing that you're stronger than her, knowing that you can physically, you know, hurt her. Like, for what? Well, walk away, leave. It's that simple. Like, leave, walk away.
Yeah. And like, so I'm totally on that too. But like, sometimes females can like, as much as you want to walk away, females will like. Really?
But you have to have self-control. That's what I mean. You're at the end of the day, you're still a male.
That's a fact.
Like, you a bitch if you gonna hit a female. Like, at that point.
No, that's big facts.
Oh yeah,
big facts.
Speaking facts, this is just
like,
funny.
If you get to that point where it's like, oh, I can't control myself, I'm about to put my hands on you. Leave. Like, it's not that hard to leave, bro. Just walk out the door go somewhere else, do something. Like, it's a lot better than putting your hands on her.
Mm-hmm.
He left anyway.
Yeah.
He did what he did and then left. You could have just left without the abuse. And now you're looking at possibly going to prison.
It's sad.
Like, in front of your kid. Like, that's the representation you want your kid like to have.
And I was mentioning too, I was just telling somebody, I'm like, it's very hard to look at these interracial and these interracial relationships and see, like, yes, you know, black men, we treat our, you know, our women, and I hope that everybody's doing this, like, we treat them with respect, you know, and we understand. But it was just hard because I'm like, dang, another thing a white woman has to fear when dating a black man, because that's what they look at. You know, some of the stuff, some of the actions that they happen, and it's just like, you know, that's not what every guy is. But if, you know, let's just say a woman is to see that and look and just be like, man, like, dang, that's what comes with it, you know, is that what comes with it, you know? And same with dad's parents, you know, then they encourage more not to get around them, not to be around those type of people. And it's just like, yo, that's not what it is. That's more, in my opinion, it just showed a lot of more like diversity as to why, like, interracial couples, like, why it's hard to date and be accepted in certain I don't want to say families, but around certain people. Because it's not everybody. I'm just saying in general, it's hard. You know, different cultures, different understandings. So it was just crazy to me when I saw that. I was just like, gosh.
No, I mean, in domestic violence, because I did a research paper on it in college, and they said like 80% of those cases don't even get reported because of the dynamic of being married. Like, once they call the cops, it's a he say, she say thing, and they can't do anything because they're married. Yeah, and it was like a weird dynamic. Like, they couldn't do anything. They show up, break them up or whatever, and like, all right, we got the report, and then they go on their way. They can't really do anything. Yeah, whether they see marks or anything.
Dang. But now this world is so like,
because I don't know how many times the cops came to our house for domestic violence and nothing happened. The only time something happened is when my dad tried to kill himself, and then my stepmom's throat was cut, and they had her in the hospital, or had to take her to the hospital. Yeah. That was the only time that anything got reported, and we had to go our separate ways. My stepbrother, stepsister, and me and my brother had to go our separate ways. That's how bad it got. I wasn't there. Me and my brother, my stepbrother, showed up after the fact, because we was at a football game. Yeah. So we showed up in the aftermath, and we was like, what is going on? Yeah. And then I see my brother, he's crying in our neighbor's yard. My stepsister, I believe she was in our yard crying. It was like, I think she killed my mom. He killed my mom, blah, blah, blah. Dang. So that was traumatic for them. Yeah. But even showing up to that shit was traumatic. And I was like, and they kept getting back together, though. It was weird. It was the weirdest
dynamic,
most
toxicity levels,
bro. It's so
toxicity
stressful.
levels
like
high.
It's like every other month. It's like, bro, like at this point, I'm ready to just get the fuck out of here. Like, y'all just break up. Yeah. So, and they finally did after that. Yeah. Actually, they did.
Damn. Now this is tough. Sometimes it is hard. Sometimes,
but it's crazy. I was like, what? I was like, I don't know how. I mean, but they say misery loves company, so.
No, it's true, because there's a lot of times you get couples that you're like, hey, why don't y'all just let it go? You know, why don't? Yeah. You know, sometimes you question certain things. You're just like, hey, y'all just argue so much, anyways. Why not just let it go? You know what I'm saying?
Let it go.
You know, why not just let each other go? And it's hard. Like, shoot, everybody's been in that like toxic area, toxicity relationship. You know what I'm saying? So it's like sometimes you so stuck in it, you don't even know what's going on until. Like your boys, everybody could tell you something, but you just in it.
Everybody was telling them to break up.
Yeah.
From mom, dad, sister, us.
Yeah.
They just wouldn't do it.
Just leave.
I don't know what it was.
Yeah. Shoot, man.
I'm like, y'all crazy. Yeah. You kind of got numb to it.
That's one thing I noticed about relationships too, is like, no matter what you tell somebody to do about their relationship or their life, no matter what, they're going to do whatever they want to do at the end of the day. So, and that's one thing I've been learning with my boys and just other people in general is like, I mean, instead of giving advice, just showing that you're there to support them mentally and be like, look, I'm not here to tell you, advice on how to live your situation with that girl or boy or whatever, because no matter what, you're going to do whatever you want, but just know I'm here for you mentally and I'm going to support you. Because sometimes people will look at that shit and be like, well, you were telling me to leave her, and like you'll have that bad image of that girl, so you lose respect for that girl, and it makes you feel weird every time you're around that girl. And I learned to just, let that shit go and just be there for your boy, whoever it is, and support them. Yeah. Because then it's just gonna be back and forth cycle, and then I don't know, it just gets.
And that's all you can do, like especially the people, if it's some loved ones that's in it. Yeah. Like there's been plenty of people that after my situation, like I was, I met plenty of people. I'm like, oh, let's chop it up for a second. Like you good, and then. Yeah, man, I'm good. We just dealing with this, and in my head, I want to tell them something, but it's just like sometimes people gotta crash, like and crash hard. Sometimes you gotta walk in on somebody doing something in order for you to finally have the guts to get up and leave. Until oh well, they never said that, or this person is doing it. Like no, you gotta walk in on something, somebody doing something in order for you to leave, and that's what sucks about toxic relationships, toxicity in general. But nah, that is tough, man.
It comes from trauma too. Like people go through things in life, and it's hard for them to detach themselves from people. Yeah, because they feel like no one else would accept them, and for them and their flaws. And like this person is accepting me for all my flaws and all the stuff we go through. Like he loves me, I know he loves me, and this trauma just built up, and like. They never fixed that. They never fixed themselves before they went into a relationship. Yeah. Like you have to be sure of who you are before you go and get in a relationship with someone else.
Self-love.
Facts.
Like, self-love.
You have to know who you are and what you want from your partner as well. Yeah. Like y'all have to have a balance. Yeah. Like I'm been married. I've been with my wife for basically a decade, and we're still to this day learning each other every day. Like you never can know a person too much. Yeah. Right. They grow just as much as you grow. Like some things you may have liked in the past, you don't like no more. And that person has to adapt to that. Yeah. And like even having kids. Now we had another dynamic. How are we going to raise our kids? Yeah. Oh, I like this. I don't like that. I want to do this. I want to do that. So you have to have that balance. Because you have arguments about, why are we teaching our kid that? Yeah. I don't like that. You know what I mean? So it's like little things like that. And that can cause an argument depending on y'all level of like your mental. Like are y'all able to have a clear conversation, or does everything turn into an argument?
Yeah. And to back that up, because most relationships, people who are young, they don't understand like how a relationship works. And like backing it up, it all comes down to communication. If you're not communicating in your relationship, it will not work no matter what. No matter how many similarities or whatever it is in your relationship you have, and you're like, oh, he or she's the one. Facts. No, communication is like, it takes a big factor. And if you're not communicating, you're being petty and all that shit, there's going to be back and forth, and y'all going to hate each other even more.
Yeah. Speaking facts.
And arguing is not communicating.
At all.
That's just yelling in your opinion and being angry. Yeah. Communicating is having a clear conversation.
So what is being what is having communication?
Good communication. For me at least, is listening to everything they have to say, letting them speak, and then no matter how much if you're right or wrong, accepting that, and then expressing your opinion and all that stuff. And if you guys can come to agreement or drop it, you're fine. Yeah. You guys can work through anything. Yeah. But if you have too much pride and you're just being petty, and you can't let it go, I'm telling you, you're just gonna be a revolving circle, and you're gonna keep asking other people, and they're gonna tell you the same thing, and then
because people do it, people do it. Bro, they do that same thing. They done asked like a million people for advice, and it's all the same thing. It's just like, just listen to the first person, or trust in your gut, because most of the time your gut is right. Most of the time exactly what you're doing. Most people are not as dumb as they want to sound, or when they have questions about certain things, you know exactly what you're doing when you're doing it. If you got to ask the question, sometimes, if you got to ask it, you're probably wrong. Or if you got to ask it, you're probably right.
I feel like as us men, we have too much pride sometimes, and it's hard.
Bruh.
Man.
I don't know how many times my wife
She would definitely love to hop on this podcast. She get on you. She get on you. Get on them. Get on them.
So much pride sometimes. I'm like, nah. Like, just listen. Just you're not hearing me. You just. I'm like, I hear you, but
I gotta get it out. I just gotta say something. Nah, that's facts. I mean, so as far as like with communication and things, how do you think like social media plays into that factor, as well as how do you feel about social media and the influence it has on relationships? I mean, because that's been a big thing lately. Like, I can't lie, there's been a lot of people right now that I just see, and I could be wrong about this, but from what I see, it's just there's a lot of Instagram relationships because there's a lot of like, not reports, but there's a lot of, well, these two people got divorced and these two people, are finding their separate ways, and these were celebrity icons that we looked up to, in those times where it's like, oh, for example, Kim and Ye. There's some that's a couple that everybody was looking up to, like, oh man, that's a power couple. Who else? There's a couple of other ones I know.
Jay-Z and Beyonce. I mean,
yeah,
but they still rocking. I mean,
well, I'm saying it's a good image.
As far as what we see, they're still rocking, but they're like, smart with it, because when it comes to social media, people have, especially the younger generation, they have the problem of, oh, whenever something's happening bad in my relationship, I'm gonna tweet it or put it on social media, and that's what you guys are messing up at, is telling the world about your business.
It doesn't make you stronger. It makes you look a lot weaker.
No couple is perfect.
I've done it.
The Brittany Renner situation, bro. Oh my god,
that was something. That was something. And I ain't gonna lie though, it was both. Like, so what do you mean by that? What do you mean by that?
Wait, can you explain that? Because I don't think I've heard of that.
So,
she was with the basketball player.
Okay.
I don't know his name.
PJ Washington.
Was it PJ Washington?
Oh, that one. Oh.
Yeah. So they're married. They have a kid.
They were married. Oh yes, they did get married.
Yeah, they was married.
Okay.
And she has a kid, and then she dips and she gets paid.
Yeah, that's facts.
And that's, I mean, for NBA players and people who make money, that can be you're scared to get into marriage.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people see, like, oh, I ain't getting married. Like, that's automatic. Like, I got a whole bunch of homeboys. That's why I ain't getting married. Stuff like that right there. I ain't getting married. But it's like, there's good women out here who deserve to be married.
Hey, what's that thing where you can sign something to where it's like...
It's a prenup.
Yeah.
Prenuptial.
I would do that.
Prenuptial.
Yeah. I feel like every person should do it, not even just men or just everybody in general. Like, men and women should do that.
Yeah. I personally don't have one.
Huh?
I don't have a prenup personally.
Yeah,
but
see,
I
sometimes
trust my wife. I've been with her for a very long time. Don't plan on getting divorced.
You gotta play that.
I wouldn't even say trust. I think it's just like, it's good for every individual. You
gotta play that Gold Digger song. We want prenup. We want prenup.
Yeah.
You feel me?
But it is a trust thing, though.
Yeah.
You think
Why
so?
do I need to get a prenup with my wife?
No.
We're not.
For a certain level, I think, like certain things.
Depending on when you meet them too, I guess.
Yeah.
If you could trust them, because there's a lot of, if you think about it, a lot of celebrities do that because they have a lot, and they don't really necessarily, they don't necessarily trust that person all the way. This is a just in case type of thing.
Yeah, that's what I'd look at, just in case.
Like, if I'm marrying a Brittany Renner, I'm getting the prenup.
No, but okay.
Looking at her past,
but you never know.
So think about it. It like, and I think I was talking to Zae or somebody, but I was like, I think it was with Zae. I was like, hey man, it took two people. He knew exactly what he was signing up for. There's no way this man can be that dumb, right? He knew exactly, and it takes two to have the baby. It takes two to get married. He said the vows and I do, and he did all of that. I was like, so you know exactly what you're getting into. I think
he might have actually signed a prenup. I think she got the money because of the kid.
No, it was all. That's what they said, but it said 200K a year.
Bro.
Okay, 200K a year for the next 18 years.
That's a bag.
I mean, shoot. That is a bag. Like I said, and I ain't defending nobody. I'm on nobody's side. I'm just saying in general, like it like, and that's just an example. There's been plenty other women that have done that. She's just one that came to light recently, and it sucks because it is hard. I was like, my brother's in that whole, like, man, like, it's just so hard to get for people to look, because everybody wants money. Everybody wants, especially when they look at
status, money.
Yeah, and I saw this, I think, on Instagram the other day when I forgot that dude. He's like an influencer. He talks about financial decisions and things like that, about just making money, about the route he took. I don't know his name, but he just explained, when you look at somebody nowadays, if you look at their Instagram first, what do you see when you look at them, right? Sometimes people look at people as, especially icons, they look at them as a blue check. You can't see it, but in your head, you already know, man, like, he a blue check. Man, let me go chop it up with him for a second, you know? Mm-hmm. Let me go do this with him. Let me, like, see if I can get some, you know? That's just how it is nowadays. And it sucks because that's not, you know, you want to like people for that person's character.
Yeah.
Not because it's an invisible blue check around his name walking around.
Yeah.
Facts. You know, and that sucks because that's just, it is what it is.
I think people are really getting to understand that, you know how people say, you know, it's not about like who or what you do or whatever. It's about who you know. I feel like people are trying to fake that shit to get to know somebody to get a handout. Yeah. And it's not genuine. Yeah. And that's what sucks right now.
No, it's tough. Yeah, it's definitely tough, man. I mean, shoot. I just know
I'm married. I'm happy.
Yeah, yeah.
None of that.
Yeah. Nah, it's and it's not just with women. It's also, I mean, men do the same thing. We just don't see
big facts. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. Like, there's some
in general. Yeah, that's what I said. I'm married. I'm happy because dudes out here trying to find females and females trying to find dudes. It's rough right now.
Yeah,
really.
Yeah,
bruh.
It's hard. It's hard to have a relationship in this era because my bad. It's hard to have a relationship in this era because everybody looks at it so like differently. Like, people are getting paid to be a couple on TikTok. Yeah, you know, like, people are getting paid to do that.
Like, it's hard for people to cut off so many people that they talk to on Instagram. Well, you got text message, Instagram, Twitter.
Yeah. Some people won't drop it. Some people won't drop that for a good relationship.
What's them little apps?
Snapchat?
No, the dating apps and stuff.
Tinder and stuff.
Like Tinder.
Yeah, they got so many.
Grinders.
Yeah. They got a million other ones. So cutting all that off. At first, it used to just be cut off the people you talk to on your phone and text and stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And now you're talking to this one female. Now you cutting off. Oh, I got a DM from this person after I just got in an argument. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, the distraction, like, people get these. So you start off with a relationship. Y'all in there for 3 months.
Kevin's heart.
Y'all get in an argument. You get a DM from somebody that's been looking, and then you take it out on that person and you start DMing. Yeah. And it's so easy to just be distracted by fake love, or you miss out on the person that really love you because you feel like this person that's DMing you is the next one. Yeah. Or you see these pictures on Instagram. Oh, damn, he fine or she fine. It's like, bruh,
it's not needed.
It's too much. It's too much distraction.
Yeah, I think people nowadays, it's like they think this relationship shit comes quick. Or it's like they're gonna find love like super quick. Yeah, exactly. People are so impatient.
You know how
they don't want to go through that. They don't want to go through the arguments and the like I said, I've been with my girl for a whole decade. You don't think we argue? Man. What?
People want perfection. Like, it's perfection that they seek because they look at, like I said, I kid you not, and I'm not gonna say nobody's name, but there's a situation that I was in. And it was like, man, this person, they looked at this couple that went through 10 years of having to fix their relationship. You know what I'm saying? Like, she looked, oh my gosh, I love it. Like, and she wanted that, like that, like right now. Mm-hmm. And I was like, yo, that's a 10-year thing, and they're still rebuilding.
Yeah. My wife gets that a lot. My wife gets that a lot from like friends and stuff. Like, oh, I love your marriage. Or this, she like, it took a lot of work to get here. Man, like, we had our bumps in the road. We've been through some things. Like, we wasn't perfect. Like,
nobody.
We kept building. We kept sticking together. Like, we didn't give up on each other, and that's the biggest thing. Yeah. Like, not giving up, staying consistent, just like with anything. Yeah. With your job, with your kids. Yeah. You trying to start a new business, like, you got to stay consistent with it. You can't just all right, this ain't working. She arguing too much. Bye.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of people, they like,
See,
I ain't got to deal with
It
this.
all comes down
I
to
ain't got to
pride.
deal with this. I got 4-5 in my DM. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
And then you back where you started.
Yeah. It's all fake love, man. But yeah, as far as that stuff goes, it just ain't right. I mean, it's, you know, stuff happens. You know, women look at certain things as like they put they set certain standards that a lot of people can't live up to. You know what I'm saying? They set certain standards like right before they meet somebody, you know, oh, he gotta be this, and this. I'm like, well, dang, you cut off half the population to the club that you're going to. You know what I'm saying? Like 6 foot, you know, in God, you know, fresh out of prison with tats, you know, but is, you know, going to church every Sunday and making 6 figures. That's wow. You know, that's nobody doing that. I don't know too many people that, you know what I'm saying? It's just, I don't know. It's and I'm not saying that's all women want, but sometimes that's what it feels like. Like, and do you think it's harder for, I don't know if we asked this already, but do you think it's harder for men or for women as far as like, so like in that, in social media, like, do you think it's harder for men or for women to, you know, let's say cut off or let's say get into a relationship? Like, how y'all feeling?
Yeah, I don't know about that one. I hate to speak for women on that.
No, yeah, no. And I'm not trying to say, but from a guy's perspective, do you guys feel, because yeah, our next guest is gonna be a woman. I think we need to get her. I need we get somebody on here.
Yeah.
Whether it's we just need to
especially for that question.
Yeah.
Wait, repeat the question. Okay.
No. So I said, in a guy's perspective, do you think it's harder for men or for women in relationships? Like, as far as like social media, you know, do you think it's harder on them to keep up with things, to cut off, you know, like, do you think it's harder, or do you think it's more, you think it's harder for men?
To me, honestly, and I'm not picking sides, I think it just goes to the maturity level of that person. Because, I mean, I feel like it goes both ways. It just depends on how mature you are.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
Just maturity, really.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm gonna stick. We're gonna stick with that answer for right now.
Yeah. What you can and can't handle.
Yeah.
Now we gonna stick with that answer because we can't ask both sides.
You gotta have a female for that one.
Yeah.
All right. So, just one other topic I want to talk about is like, and I want to know you guys' opinion, is just like, you know how like nowadays the young generation, they're like they're not trusting the process as far as job opportunities, and you know, they're like jumping from job to job. Like, how do you guys feel about that?
Well, man, you want to go first?
I mean, when I was in school and back in Kansas, I worked at Walmart for a little bit during the off season. Then I had to quit that job to start playing football. Football practice picked up. I couldn't do the hours because it was like night shift. I'm like, there's no way I'm going to practice all night and then turn around and go work at Walmart. Wake up the next day, go to school, practice, work at Walmart again. And I was in the back lifting pallets, and it was some real intense. It was basically like I'm doing a whole nother workout after practice.
Yeah.
So I quit that job. And then once the off season hit again, worked at the gas station. That was still night shift. That was like graveyard shift. Wasn't very taxing. I had to sit there. I ain't gonna lie, I fell asleep a couple times. One time I fell asleep in my car.
Oh, goodness.
But nobody there. It was like a storm or something going on.
Yeah.
You talk about 8 hours, bro. Like I think it was like I go in at 1 and I get off at 5.
Yeah.
So I'm like, bro, ain't nobody coming in here. You know, this is Kansas, like real rural area.
Oh, okay.
Storm hit, like snowstorm hit.
Yeah.
Nobody's driving. The roads are slick. So I'm like, bro, I'm not finna just sit at this thing all day. I fell asleep in my car. Donut man come up to the window. He was like, yo. I'm like, oh, shit.
Yo, that's funny.
He was like,
You know those
I'm not
TikToks?
gonna tell your boss, but
know
I don't
those
think you're
TikToks
supposed to
like-
be asleep.
You know, the TikTok's like, all right. Yeah, all right. I'm going to take a nap real quick, and then they
wake up.
Oh,
No, that's really how
I'm
it
fired.
is.
I didn't get fired. I didn't get fired. I ended up quitting that job though because it was too much. Like the
That's when
hours.
is that when you figured out you had to like stop?
Yeah, I was like, all right, this is too much. Like, I can't stay, like, physically, I couldn't stay up. Because it was school practice and it's college practice, it's not like high school. Like, it's you putting in hours. Yeah. And then we had morning lifts. So I'm coming from my graveyard shift to morning lifts.
Morning lifts, dog. Them morning lifts. So, them 6 a.m. morning
quit that
lifts.
job. And then I went to Dollar Tree. I worked there for a little bit, and then by that time, I was done.
But why? Because, I mean, I'm guilty of it, too, of just jumping jobs. Like, why do you think
it was whatever fit my schedule. My main goal was college. My job was just to bring in some extra income. That was temporary, and I knew that mentally. I'm like, I don't really care for this. I'm just trying to keep a certain income and move on. This is not a career thing for me.
Right. Yeah.
But exactly. What I'm doing in college is a career thing. I'm going to make sure this is first. All the job stuff, that's secondary. Whether I get fired or quit, I don't care.
Yeah. So, and that's what I feel like is like, I feel like some jobs, just because of my own experience, they're not flexible with people as far as like people who are in high school and stuff. Like, they're not really flexible with them.
Some of them are.
So that's true. Some of them are.
Depending where you're at. Because, you know, sometimes people, they want people that are willing to work. So I get a lot of times, especially at restaurants, they want people that are going to come and work. And they want people that, you know, can take off, can work double, can do this because, you know, they have a business to run, you know, and some of them do understand, you know, hey, all right, you got school, you know, I get that. All right, you know, you got to do what you got to do. I was like, some don't. Some, like, that's their life. Yeah. So they're putting in the hours, working, slaving, and they feel like everybody should be doing that. Sometimes that's not how it works. No. You know what I'm saying? So I think with multiple jobs, as far as what people are doing, I feel like people tend to do that because I don't know. I'm a big believer in God puts you at certain places for a reason.
Right, me too.
You know what I'm saying? So if God's putting you there, it's because you might deal with something like that later on down the line. And I'm not talking about working at a grocery store later. I'm talking about maybe dealing with certain people at the store later. Or maybe like, okay, think about this. All the places he just talked about working, I was like, now he's pretty good like at meeting people. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
they actually did help me to like customer skills and customers, because I was the cash register person at the gas station, working the cash register. I had to, my communication skills, all I had to level up a little bit. I was the only one in there. Yeah. I was at night. There wasn't no manager around. I'm the manager at that point. Like, I think I actually was a assistant manager. Yeah. That's what the title they had to give me, because wasn't nobody finna stay there and monitor me. Yeah. They had the little camera or whatever, but basically I'm the manager. So if something go wrong, I got to figure it out. Yeah. Or if a customer needs something, I got to figure it out. Yeah. So that helped me with my customer service skills, even at the Dollar Tree, talking to people, helping them out. Yeah. That was a skill that kind of helped me with, you know, dealing with people in this business now. Yeah. Like having customer service skills. Yeah.
And it's hard because you see as well, I'm not going to bring up social media again, but social media does have an influence on that, because you see a lot of end results. There's not a lot of results posted about what's going on in the middle, how you have to start off, you know, like how, you know, people, like they show a lot of the end results, and then they'll go back later and be like, man, this is, well, dang, I'm already, you know, looking at this for so long, being like, yo, I need this now. I want this now. As far as cars, I get stuck in the same thing. Like, I get stuck, you know, I'm fresh out of college, you know, thinking like college, all right, it's going to give me that, you know, that job. You know, and it's not always like that. Sometimes it's, you know, you got to pay your dues. You got to pay your dues. You got to go to that job. You got to work those hours. You got to slave a little bit, you know, in order for yourself to really take that next step as far as, I don't know, whatever it is that you want to do.
Yeah. And like on the flip side, my wife, she was a manager for, I want to say Route 21. She was a manager for a couple of stores, but she was putting in hours, like working like Bank of America. And then for as far as corporate world, she can work anywhere and get paid top dollar in the corporate world, because she has a great resume that fits that. Like when you get out of college, you ain't got no resume. Yeah. You really did nothing.
And I hate that, like, and that's why. So
you need experience.
So that's why as well. I was like, there's a lot of guys that have to go build their resume. There's a lot of people that want to get those corporate jobs, and you know, there's a reason why they don't stay at those one jobs,
because of experience.
They need experience. Okay, well, you know, it's just not enough right now. Like that's what they'll look at when it's all said and done. to look at like, okay, how, were you interning during, school? Mm-hmm. Were you doing certain things? And that's the one big advice I give to all those football players out there during the summer. Like, I understand you guys got to have summer workouts and stuff, but for those guys that feel like, all right, NFL ain't really the goal, and you want to get out there, like, go take that intern for that summer. I was like, sure. Because that will take that internship and still do your workouts, still get it in. I was like, but that prepares you more for life, man, because, dude, I kid you not, a lot of the dudes that, are just going to the workouts and then, that's it. Nah, it's going to take a little bit more for, and a little more grind season as far as when you get into real life, because, that football stuff is temporary and it is going to prepare you better. Time management's going to be better. There's a lot of benefits that come with having a job during summer. So all the football players out there, man, go do that. Go try that.
Get your resume up.
Yeah, man, because that's how you build connections for when you're done. Because, like I said, football don't last forever, man. So, yeah, that journey, especially for some people, they got to build. So there's a lot of – I can kind of understand why they don't, want to trust the process. So that is tough, man.
Backtracking to the whole job thing, too, is I feel like that's one thing a lot of people, not even just young people, but like a lot of other people, all ages, that they lack when they have these jobs that they don't really necessarily like, is like, as an athlete, anything I do at 110%. I feel like sometimes people will do a job even though they don't like it, but it's like, just here to pay bills until I get to where I want. They don't put their full 100% or 110% into that job. And I feel like that's why customer service can be bad sometimes. Yeah. It's because they're not putting their full effort, and that will carry on to everything else in life if you're not putting your full effort into anything you do. Yeah. So, and that's what I try to do.
So the customer service part is not that it'd be bad. It's just who's doing it. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like you said. So exactly. Yeah. So like you said, like it's about the effort that you're giving. It's about, putting in that work, because there are some people that, they don't really want to do that job, but they'll go do it anyways. Just to gain some experience, and then oh snap, maybe I like this, and then if they don't like it, they might, but it just depends on the attitude of the person. So customer service in general is not like bad or anything. It's just like, it's who's doing this, who's willing to put in the effort, who's willing to take that phone call or whatever it is as far as customer service goes.
And it's not even just customer service, it's just any job in general. It's like, I feel like if you're not putting your 110% in anything you do, it's gonna follow you and it's gonna affect your life.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So yeah,
I gave 110%.
Yeah, and so
when I was working,
that's bad.
And I'm not saying I was perfect with it either. I'm just saying like there's times
when I was at that gas station, I was like, I'm not finna sit here for hours with nobody. I've watched every Netflix show I could watch.
Oh my god,
bro.
No, I
was on my phone like, all right, I watched this already. Yeah, this was when Netflix was still kind of new.
Right. Yeah.
So I watched everything, bro. Like, it was bad. Man, I was like, yeah, I'm about to go to sleep.
Yeah, nah, and it's and as far as the not trusting the process too, there are some like people that are quick to get out of people's the parents' house. So if we go, bring up that topic for a second, how y'all feeling about, at what age should you leave your crib? And do you think people like not frown upon it, but look at it differently now because everybody's, I want to be independent. I want to be my own boss. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes those people that were their own boss was in their parents' crib, working out their room, trapping out their room. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I'm about to say you should say your part because I kind of like your answer, and I could, if I remember, I'll just.
My answer?
Yeah, because I remember you talked about it before, and I was like, I mean, that's pretty much how I feel too.
That you should get about your parents' house once you're 18.
Oh shit! Maybe it wasn't that.
Maybe
it was somebody else.
It wasn't my full answer.
I think you said it was because it just depends on the situation.
Yeah,
circumstance.
That's why I said your circumstance. Like for me, I was out of there. I didn't like my circumstance. I didn't like the way things was. Like even my stepbrother stayed while I was gone. He had to come home, wash dishes that wasn't his, do certain things that I'm like, bruh, I'm not doing that. I didn't make that mess. Yeah. I'm not doing that. And I'm working, I'd rather pay rent than have to come home after a long day of doing something and have to wash somebody's dish that ain't mine. or clean up after somebody that it ain't mine. Like that just wasn't working for me. So I'm like, I'm gonna just do what I gotta do. Get a job, fast for checks, whatever is needed.
That's fair.
And get my own spot. Now, if you have your parents are supportive, they understand it, you growing, you building.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, stay your ass in that house.
Exactly. And like I said, it depends on the situation and, if you're willing to fight to, change your life. If you're just there to be chilling at your mom's house or whoever it is, just be living there. I feel like that's bad at that point.
Yeah. If you're on bullshit and you using your parents, you wrong. Like if you ain't doing nothing that's helping, you taking advantage of your mom that might be nice, or your pops might be, oh yeah, just sit on the couch, chill. Nah, get your ass up out of there.
Yeah. You have to be willing to make a change.
Go be a man.
So what is it? So is there a time limit to it?
No, I don't think
because
there is.
I feel like sometimes it's circumstance. Sometimes I feel like
if 30 years old,
but sometimes I feel like it's circumstance. Like in California, for example, it's very hard to get to be independent, to live on your own, unless you're not everybody can be trusted.
That's facts.
That is a fact.
That's another thing. Like people got to take into consideration when doing roommates, because everybody talks about okay, go find roommates. They make it sound so easy, but try to trust people that you don't know. I was like, come and make sure they rent is on time.
I guess I could say at some point you need to be paying your parents rent. If you're staying that long, at some point you need to be providing some financial
help.
Some financial help if you're staying that long. One that shows me that you working on something. You bringing in some money to help out. Like parents ain't rich. Well, some people parents are, but
and then as well as that, So as well as that, there's some people that they are very fortunate enough to have parents to go, okay, we'll put up half. Whatever, we'll put a down payment down for you, and there's some people are very fortunate like that. We'll be able to put a down payment, but then you got to come up with the rest. We'll be able to put a first and last. I was like, and then you got to come up with the rest. I was like, not a lot of people get that opportunity, and some people take advantage. Some people don't. Some people, rather be doing this stuff. But I like I said, I saw this on Instagram. Somebody had just mentioned, like, at what age do you feel like you should be able to move out, or you should move out? And I got, I saw on there, I was just like, I saw a lot of 26s. Saw a lot of, okay, at the age of 26, like everybody feel, I'm like,
you established at 26.
I'm like, yeah, I'm
that's just the number. You just,
I'm like, what?
Everything got figured out at 26.
So especially with people like, especially on people in different areas. Okay, if you're in Hawaii, I understand. Okay, because
why? The
average home right now is 35,000 right now for an average just a home.
Huh?
Yes. It's about $1 million to just a home in Hawaii.
What the
How many bedrooms?
Yeah. Like 3.
Wait,
I don't know. Like,
why?
I kid you not, because property, whatever is going on over there, like I don't know the specifics. I just know that the last report that I saw, and this was because my girlfriend, she's from there, and she just explained, like, yeah, it's about $1 million. My uncle's house where he's staying in this nice place. He's 2-story, a lot of bedrooms, I think, though. 2-story, a lot of bedrooms, but he got it for 8. And now it's selling for 1.4. I could be wrong. But where are you gonna go? You know what I'm saying? After you sell it or rent it out, taxes and whatever is taken out, and then where are you gonna go after that? You know, so it's it's pretty tough because it doesn't. I'm not saying that's not a place people can succeed, but there's not a lot of room for like growth as far as property.
You almost gotta get a roommate or a partner or boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever.
You gotta do something, and you guys both have to be making like a lot of money. I'm not even gonna say
decent amount to live, to live decently. Yeah, you gotta make some good income.
Like each of you gotta make at least
$100K a year.
100K, and it's almost like you gotta make 150K.
It's just like that in LA though.
Yeah,
like 100K ain't it.
And everybody right now, and everybody right now is moving.
100K.
It's moving like it's trying to go not Midwest, excuse me, but like they're trying to move towards like Texas and Arizona.
I get a lot of people noticing that too.
Yeah, there's a lot of people right now that are like,
even the real estate out here going up though.
Yeah,
it's going up a lot.
It's not, but it's not as. It's still not as high as
Not yet.
California.
But so many people from other states want to move to LA because they think, or Cali in general, they think it's just wonderful.
Because-
it is, but like
because the aesthetic.
Hey.
Yeah, don't get me wrong.
aesthetic.
Like
You got
the
the beach, you
the
got
weather,
weather.
you know what I'm saying. Like everything out there, the food's Mexican food. Oh my
The
goodness,
amount of events
I
that
love
go on,
Cali.
it's always something to do.
the Mexican food
Yeah.
out there is fire.
Yeah,
I miss
and the
Mexican
seafood. Yeah.
Seafood especially near the coast.
I'm happy, but I'm mad that I moved from Cali.
Dude.
Just because, like the stuff you guys were saying, the food, the beaches, all that.
If you can afford to live out there, it's definitely
Yeah.
No, it's
Like,
definitely worth
yeah.
it. I was like, it's definitely worth it.
Especially depending on where you live in, because some spots is not
No.
the best. Like
Yeah,
your
that's
car can get broken into. There's a lot of other things that
Play in the factor.
play in the factor when you live in LA.
But I mean,
depending on where
that's
you live.
everywhere though, really.
Yeah, and this.
Yeah, it's not as bad, bro. But you gotta think the poverty level out there is very high.
Oh, that's true.
It's very high. You got a lot more homeless people in LA than
Oh
you do
yeah,
out here.
yeah.
Like like daily, like people losing their homes
Yeah.
on the street.
And it sucks.
Like-
It's just sometimes you just sit there and you just watch. You're like, dang, like,
Bro,
this is
I
really
done-
going on.
Seen so many friends that we knew from high school that are homeless, and it's like,
Yeah,
bro,
that's
really?
crazy. There's some
That's
people
crazy.
because his brother's he's roaming the streets.
yeah.
I was like, so all of a sudden he's getting these reports about, and then
People we know, bro.
yeah, and they know him. I was like, they're Messiah,
sad. That's
Messiah.
wild.
I'm like, yo, that's crazy, and like,
That's wild.
it's sad.
When
at
it's
the
people
same
you
time.
know,
Yes, that's-
that hit
So-
different.
Living
So,
on the streets,
yeah.
bro. It's like, damn.
So
bro.
so I would just tell, like, in general, I would say do what you got to do as far as living in your parents' house. Take advantage of that because it is a blessing to not have to pay rent. There's
Yeah.
a lot of dudes I know. I think someone from back home I was just talking to, he was like, dude, I ain't got to pay no rent. I was like, I go to work, everything, I'm pocketing because, my parents, they're trying to help me out. They're supporting me. And, I do my chores. I try to stay out the way.
And
You know what I'm saying?
what-
So
yeah.
that's something that take advantage of that. Don't be ungrateful because I ain't gonna lie. When I was in college, I was so quick to get up out my parents' house. I was so quick to get up out of there because I was
Want
like,
their independence.
because I was like, man, everybody has a certain way they like to live, and with my mom and dad in the house, there's a certain way. Like at one point, it was hard for me to close a door. You know what I'm saying? To keep to turn the light on. I kid you not. Like every like I wasn't loud. I wasn't loud. I didn't have my TV all the way up. It was just my light was on. So I was like, yeah. I was like, yeah, it's about that time. It was about that time. And thank goodness I was able to go to college, you know what I'm saying? And I was able to live out there. But it gets rough. It gets rough, man. I'm like,
I mean,
dude.
independence, having your own spot is definitely better than living with anybody, really.
Yeah.
Like having your own place and it's yours. You can't. Everybody want that. Yeah. Everybody want that piece of the pie. Like, it's my house. I can do what I want in my house.
Yeah.
I own, like, when we bought our first house, like, we own that house. We can do whatever we want with it.
Right.
Like, put stuff in it. We've put concrete on the side, put turf back there.
Yeah.
It's our house.
Yeah.
It feels good to have a house that's yours.
Yeah.
So having that independence is definitely, but, being with your parents, building, as long as you got a plan.
Exactly. A plan. It all
You
comes down
good.
to the
You got
plan.
a plan. You got a vision. You got, you're doing things and you building. Yeah, definitely stick it out until you get to that point where you like, okay, parents, I'm ready to move.
Striving for excellence.
And it's hard to get a house. You need a down payment, and it's what? How much is the down payment?
They said
like 10 or 20% of the cost, which is usually about $80,000 in cash. So it's bread. It ain't easy to buy a house.
That's and some people out here they getting cars with that.
Yeah,
I'm like, dude, and I seen that. So
and you gotta have good credit.
I've seen that too. I've seen that at a bunch of places where there's a lot of like really nice cars, but they in apartments. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, man, because I was thinking the same thing. I was like, man, I'm gonna get a nice car, I'm gonna get an apartment, but I'm like, it's not owning land yet, though. You know what I'm saying? It's not. It's
The
not.
value of owning land for the younger generation is not as high as it should be.
But you gotta understand,
they don't
some
know the
people-
value of owning land yet.
Yeah, that's facts.
They're
Some
more
people-
into crypto and all that. Like, all
But that's
that.
booming too, though.
NFTs.
It is, but
NFTs is going crazy right now.
yeah, it is.
NFTs. Oh my gosh.
It is, but it's like that can go and come just like the currency now with the dollar is going.
Yeah.
Like when you have land, you own that
You can do whatever the fuck you want. Like
for as
you
long
said.
as you own it, like as long as you want to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the value of land has decreased. Like kids don't want it. They like being in an apartment and be able to move around wherever.
That's what I was about to say. Some people just love living stagnant with life.
Some people love that. Like they just want to be in an apartment.
But some people don't. And
some people don't.
That stuff don't go unnoticed sometimes.
Oh, speaking of credit, because I said you gotta have good credit. When you're in college, try to build your credit. That's a huge thing too that I had to learn when I got to college. You can't get shit without credit. Yeah. You can't get a car. You can't get no house.
Nothing really.
You can't get nothing. So build your credit while you're in college. Just take out.
You have to show proof.
Small credit card and buy something. Make sure you pay it off.
Yeah.
Start building that credit slowly.
You gotta show proof. You gotta show proof that you can make payments. You gotta show proof to the landlords that okay, my rent's gonna be on time. You gotta show proof to those car people that you gonna pay that car off.
Yeah,
because they might not let you be around. That happens, but that credit thing is very underrated.
People know to get credit. Like use credit, don't use cash. Like some people be like, I'm gonna use cash. Why are you using cash?
Use your credit card.
Use your credit. Yeah. Use that credit, man. Like if you build it up and you know how to work credit, you save a whole lot of money.
Whole lot of money.
I got one question.
All right, go ahead.
What are those? No, I'm just kidding.
You talking about my Yeezy slides, man? My Yeezy slides. Come on now. Hey, man, they comfy. If you know, you know.
Nah, them is legit. I heard them is comfy.
No, they really comfortable, especially the new versions that he came out with. Because this is like the older version is a little harder.
Don't you got two of those?
Yeah.
This guy's a millionaire.
No,
I didn't even know it.
No,
you got two Yeezy slides.
No, I got them at a low price with the shoe plug that we have. So I don't.
He bought them with credit.
Bought them with credit, paid it right off.
Really, I would just want to talk to mainly the younger generation. But if I could reach out to anybody, I hope you are, working on your craft, trying to stay healthy mentally and physically. It's not easy. Success, when you want to be successful with anything in life, is never going to be easy. You're probably going to see a lot more downs than ups, but that's okay as long as you're willing to fight. And that's all I want to preach is as long as you're fighting, no matter what situation it is, you're winning. Just keep fighting. Yeah. That's all I got to say.
Yep.
Hey, check out them playoff games in Arizona. You know what I mean? Sewell versus Hamilton, Chandler versus Liberty is going down.
Man, shouts out to those schools, man. Hope y'all do well. Stay safe, man. We appreciate y'all. We appreciate y'all for tuning in today, man. Say what you said. All right, another episode. We appreciate y'all. Like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for tuning in, man.
We on to bigger and better things, I promise you guys.
Yeah, we out. We appreciate y'all.
Baby, I could love you better. Look me in my eyes and tell me you feel the same. Can't relate to what they say, huh? I'm so confident I know that you feel the same. Cause ooh, I can't believe it. Ooh, you are alone.